Welcome to Figure Feedback. My name is Jeremy, and this is the Inslogic and Sunlu i10, and this is not a filament dryer. It is not a filament dryer. It is something different. It is a filament dehumidifier. Really, it's a dehumidifying cabinet that you just so happen to be able to put filament in. But because this is a 3D printing channel and because Sunlu and Inslogic are perhaps best known for their 3D printing products, I'm just going to keep it within the realm of 3D printing. Although theoretically, anything that you want to keep at a low humidity level, you could put inside of this cabinet. Real quick, I'm going to open it so that you can see what's going on. It opens from right to left. That's different. And it's like a little mini fridge. You look inside there, I've got 10 full 1 kilogram spools of filament on the inside of this cabinet, separated by 2 metal bars on the top with absolutely nothing on the bottom. And there is nothing on the inside, not even a light. There's nothing in here. You are meant to keep this door closed at all times because this is not a filament dryer. It's a dehumidifier, and it needs to keep the environment inside at a certain humidity level that you are able to determine simply by going to this little touch panel here, and you can press the little settings button, and you see over here I have the humidity level set at 10%. You can raise that if you want. And then over on the other side, you see that this is the temperature within the chamber, which is 30 degrees Celsius. You are able to convert that into Fahrenheit right here on the machine if that's something that you want to do. But that's it. There's no other function that this box serves. So how does it work? Well, first, let me tell you that this is not an alternative to a traditional filament dryer. It is not going to replace a traditional filament dryer, because here's the thing. With the regular filament dryer, what does it do? It blasts some really hot air in that chamber to dry out your filament, and it can exhaust the humidity through a slot on the side or on the back or however it's designed, and is meant to do it quickly. Quickly meaning, well, according to the filament that you have, 6 hours if you're trying to do like PLA or PETG or something like that, 24 hours if you're trying to do nylon or something like that. But it uses more power to blow more hot air to dry your filaments more quickly. This is something that you would use after that process. This is to keep your filament dry, not necessarily to dry your filament. Could it do it? Theoretically, yes, it would take longer because everything is just nice and, well, for lack of a better term, chill inside of here. So the way that this works, according to Google, there is a sieve inside of here. And what that molecular sieve does is that there's a port or chamber or something in here that opens up, and it absorbs the moisture that's inside of the chamber. And once that gets nice and filled, it closes itself off, and then this heats itself up, and then it blows that hot air from the back. There are some vents on the back of this, and it will take that moisture that the sieve has collected, heat it up, blow it out the back, and then once that sieve has released all of that moisture, then it stops blowing out that heat. It cools itself down, and then once it's cooled down, it opens up again and starts absorbing more moisture, and it's just a constant pattern of doing that in order to keep the filament dry. Now, as of right now, as I record this video, and by the way, they did send this to me so I can do this video, I don't know how much this is going to cost when it is finally released, but I will leave a link in the description where you can go to the product page, and they've got this special thing going on where if you reserve for $1, then you'll get like a $10 coupon to spend on this, whatever the price is going to be. And then also, according to the photos that they show of this, if you have multiples of these, or let's just say 2, you know, just so you won't have to reach up super duper high, you can put one on top of the other so that you can have 2 units stacked on top of each other, which are going to give you 20 spots to put your filament. And down here on the top, it is recessed, so it seems like a nice place for you to just put this on top. This is not heavy. It's very, very light. It's very, very easy to move around, even with filament on the inside. And you've got these two recessed, but not too deep handles that you can just pick this up and move it. But like I said, it is not heavy at all. So yeah, I thought that when this becomes more popular and when it starts to come out, maybe some people will start to wonder, what is this? What makes this different from a filament dryer? And I think the best way, if you can hear chirping, that's a quail. It's loud. But for this, if you are wondering, what makes this different than a filament dryer? Well, because it's not a dryer. That's what makes it different. It's not a dryer. The filament dryer dries the filament quickly, but unless you keep that filament in the dryer and you plug up all the holes, then, you know, over time that moisture will be reintroduced. But if you're like in an environment where I am right now, where it's hot and it's humid, especially in the South, and if you're in a place and there's no air conditioning and you're using like PETG or something like that, or TPU, it's going to absorb that moisture quickly. So what you can do is just take your filament dryer, dry your filament, and when you're not using it, you put it in here. And then you can dry some other filament that maybe you are going to use at that time. So when you just need storage, this is what this is. It's storage. Dehumidifying storage for your filament and whatever else that you want to put in there that you can't dehumidify. So if this is something that tickles your fancy, hit the link in the description, go over to the website and put down a reservation if you so desire. That's going to do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Till next time, take care of yourself, keep your filament dry, and I'll see you next time.